Morning, everybody. We'll call to order our regular meeting of the Mason County Board of County Commissioners for December 12th, 2017. I'll begin with our Pledge of Allegiance. Phil, if you wouldn't mind leading us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And if the clerk would please take roll.
Commissioner, District 1, Randy Netherland.
I'm here.
Commissioner, District 2, Kevin Schutte.
Here.
Commissioner, District 3, Terry Drexler.
Here.
Very good, thank you. Item number 4 is correspondence and organizational business. Item 4.1, if the clerk would please report the correspondence.
Port of Dewato and North Mason Regional Fire Authority sent in their final 2018 budgets. Treasurer Elizabeth Frazier provided the depositaries designated by Treasurer pursuant to RCW 3648010. The Mason County Auditor sent in election results from Proposition 1. And Marilyn Vogler submitted a letter of resignation from the Mason County Housing Authority Board effective December 6, 2017.
Okay, thank you. Item 4.2, we have a news release.
Commissioners, public. This news release is for extending hours of operation at the Ells Hill Transfer Station. Mason County will be extending the hours of operation at the Ells Hill Transfer Station starting Monday, January 29th, 2018, from currently 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. To 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Saturday. For more information about the county solid waste program or the Ells Hill Transfer Station and Union Belfair or Hoodsport drop-off facilities, you can visit the Utilities and Waste Management webpage on the county website at www.co.mason.wa.us or call 360-427-9670, extension 207. Thank you.
Commissioner, please.
Okay. Bart, I want to thank you very much for working with the commission on extending those hours. There was the request to extend the back end up to 5 p.m. from our biggest customer, Mason County Garbage. But that would have been at the cost of our local contractors who use the early morning hours. And so it will cost more money on staff time, but we appreciate your staff and you working with us to make sure that both of our local contractors and our largest customer all are being served by these extended hours. Thank you.
I think it's more beneficial to the general public because a lot of them don't get home in time and they might be able to make it by 5.
Okay, item 4.3, we have a staff recognition for a public health employee. We have Maria Machado. And before we get up, I just want to read a couple of comments. When we do the Green Star Award for employees who receive recognition from members of the community, and so I want to read briefly from the letter that was submitted asking us to recognize Maria's work with the county. It's addressed to Debbie Riley, who's our environmental health manager. Dear Ms. Riley, we are writing to express our appreciation of your staff, Maria Machado, who has assisted our small community recently in several cases. And they go on to say, we have both spoken to Maria several times. It is obvious that she really cares about what she does and the residents of the communities she works in. She has also been a great resource in helping us figure out how to handle these situations constructively, not destructively. She is an incredible resource and an asset to the county, and we send our heartfelt thanks for her patience and help. Sincerely, Alana Hess and Rachel Nicholson. And I think that does a very good job at summing up why you're deserving of the Green Star today. And as I meander my way down to present it to you, if Commissioners Drexler and Netherland have a comment or two they'd like to make.
So I deal with a lot of the homeowners associations. They have a regional homeowners association gatherings, and it comes up quite often how wonderful she is and the good work that she does. When the homeowners associations appreciate you, we've come a long way.
Maria, you have one of the toughest jobs in the county, and from the first day you started, it was. Your supervisor, Debbie, has talked about how amazingly well you do and how you balance telling people bad news or trying to get them in compliance and all those things. And I just thank you so much for your public service spirit that you bring to your position. It's so vital for your job, and it's vital for this county to recognize and to know that we're out here to help, not hurt. Thank you.
Debbie, did you want to make any comments?
I'll make it easier for Melissa on the record. I too just want to thank Maria. She has that can-do spirit that we hope we can always find in an employee. She has taken a very difficult program, made it her own. She is so compassionate to the people that she works with. The unfortunate part of her program right now is that the money we're used to getting from the Department of Ecology to support her in her work is tied up in the capital budget. So that's something that hit us here locally very hard. She's only able to work part-time doing the solid waste enforcement, and it is absolutely driving her nuts because she wants to be out there getting things taken care of. But I too just want to say thank you and so glad you're with us.
Congratulations, well deserved. At this time, we'll move to item 4.4, invite Jerry Health up to introduce our new county engineer.
Good morning, Board. This is getting the cart ahead of the horse a little bit because later on in your consent agenda, hopefully you're going to make a job offer to him
Making
and
some
appoint
assumptions,
him.
Jerry.
I wanted to I guess explain what we've gone through. You know, with Melissa taking another career this past summer, it left us with a huge hole in the organization out there. And, you know, we have pretty high standards as far as what we've been doing. We ended up going through 2 national searches before John stepped forward. And we now have, or will have hopefully soon, a new county engineer that comes with experience both as a prior public works director and county engineer, experience with Oregon DOT, WashDOT DOT also? No? Thank you. Federal highways, and a number of different situations. He's also worked for tribal and some of the smaller governments up in Alaska. I think John Hustis is going to be a huge asset for the organization, and I'm looking very forward to working with him. With that, I'll make Mr. Hustis stand up here.
Well, thank you, Jerry. I appreciate being selected by you and your Public Works Management staff in the interview process. Again, as Jerry mentioned, I've held the position of county engineer previously and Public Works Director in Lewis County, Washington. It was about 8 years since I've been in county government, so it'll take a little bit of recollection and getting back in the seat again. But I'm really excited to be here in Mason County. I love Mason County. I tried to get here a couple years ago, and I finally made it. So I'm really looking forward to working with the board and all of the other departments and the citizens of this great county as a county engineer. I take the job very seriously. I'm excited to work with and learn from Jerry and his wealth of experience here. And I'm ready to roll up my sleeves and get to work and do a good job for Mason County. So, welcome home.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. John brings with him also not only transportation experience, but some utilities experience. And so you talk about a perfect person for the job. Thank you for choosing Mason.
Welcome, John. Okay, moving on to item number 5. This is our open forum for citizen input. If a member of the public would like to address the commission on items not on today's agenda, they can come forward and please do so at this time, and the chair will recognize them. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to item number 6, which is adoption of our agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move that we adopt the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt today's agenda as presented. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And the motion carries. Item number 7, there are no minutes to approve today, so we can move on to item number 8, which is the approval of our action agenda. At this time, commissioners will read through the items on today's action agenda. At that time, a commissioner or a member of the public can ask for an item to be removed for a separate discussion and vote. We'll do it, if Commissioner Netherland would please take items 8.1 and 2, Commissioner Drexler 8.3 and 4, and then I will do 8.5 and 6.
First off, let me thank you for doing that last time, Commissioner. Item number 8.1 reads, approval to award $68,000 to Mason County Economic Development Council for the Rural County Sales and Use Tax Fund 09 for 2018 for business retention, expansion, recruitment, project and economic development planning as allowed by RCW 82.14.370 and enter into a contract for service. Item number 8.2, approval of the following advisory board appointments. Brenda Hershey to the Timberland Regional Library Board of Trustees for a term ending December 31st, 2024. Matthew Davis to the Mason County Civil Service Commission for a 6-year term that ends December 31st, 2023. Nathan Welch, Generator, and Stephanie Rowland, Spender, to the Mason County Lodging Tax Advisory Committee with terms ending May 31st, 2020.
Item 8.3, approval to change the hours of the Community Services Department to the following: Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., and then Friday, 8 a.m. and closing at noon. Item 8.4, approval of the interlocal agreement with Fire District 9 authorizing services provided by the Public Works Department for vehicle, road, or site maintenance, engineering, survey, GIS, emergency assistance, sign fabrication, fueling, and materials supply.
Item 8.5, approval to appoint John Hustis, P.E., as the Deputy Director, County Engineer for Mason County, effective December 12th, 2017. And item 8.6, approval of warrants. Direct deposit fund warrant numbers 46062 through 46433 in the amount of $649,984.71. Salary Clearing Fund warrant number 7003257 through 7003297 in the amount of $932,981.64. Approval of Treasurer Electronic Remittances, MACECOM 11/3/17 in the amount of $112,146.35. Mental Health on 11/9/17 in the amount of $53,174.39. Community Health and Social Services on 11/9/17 in the amount of $583.28. Capital Improvement REIT 2 Fund 351 on 11/9/17 in the amount of $230,000. 17 budgeted transfer to Belfair Sewer on 11/9/17 in the amount of $230,000. REIT 2 Parks and Trails Improvements on 11/15/17 in the amount of $7,683.77. Public Health October indirect costs on 11/16/17 in the amount of $3,428.42. Current expense non-department financial on 11/16/17 in the amount of $3,428.42. Public Health October indirect costs on 11/16/17 in the amount of $4,123.83. Current expense non-department financial 11/16/17 in the amount of $4,123.83. Public Health October indirect costs on 11/16/17 in the amount of $5,082.92. Current expense non-department financial on 11/16/17 in the amount of $5,082.92. Mental health budget transfer on 11/3/17 in the amount of $57,940.66. Therapeutic court on 11/3/17 in the amount of $57,940.66. Mental health budgeted transfer on 11/3/17 in the amount of $11,178.67. Juvenile probation on 11/3/17 in the amount of $11,178.67. Juvenile probation on 11/3/17 in the amount of, I think I already did that one. General Fund 11/21/17 in the amount of $195,137. And Public Health on 11/21/17 in the amount of $195,137 for a total of $2,770,337.14. Okay, having read through all the items on today's action agenda, are there any items a commissioner or member of the public would like to have removed? Okay, hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move for the approval of the action agenda as presented.
And I second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the action agenda as presented. Any additional discussion?
I would like to first of all thank this commission and the Economic Development Council for working together on this contract for the $68,000. I think this is probably the most specific contract that we've had and mirrors our responsibility as a county as the contributors to the Economic Development Councils as our Associated Development Office, and I appreciate that and look forward to some of this new reporting that'll come out of that. And secondly, I want to welcome aboard Nathan Welch to the Lodging Tax Advisory Committee. He's a new owner of the Allen House in Allen, and it gives us an opportunity to have some fresh perspective on what we're doing in tourism and our tourism dollars. And so thank you and to everybody who stepped forward in our board appointments. We have Brenda Hershey here. Congratulations and thank you for stepping up on the Timberland Regional Library Board.
Okay, any additional discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And the motion carries. Item number 9, opportunity for department heads or elected officials to address the commission. Any? Okay. We have no public hearings, so we can move on to board reports and calendars. We'll begin with Commissioner Netherland, Commissioner Drexler, and then I will finish.
If you don't mind, I'll go.
Okay. Commissioner Drexler.
I'd be happy to. Last week, following the commission meeting, we had a long commission meeting. I had to miss a few appointments, but did meet with staff about the budget. I spoke to the Pioneer Kiwanis on Wednesday the 6th, and then we had another budget workshop, and then I attended a function with the Lewis Mason Thurston Area Agency on Aging Advisory Board Committee. We have 4 new members representing Mason County there, and we talked about mental health resources as a service gap in our area agency on aging level services. So I look forward to exploring how we can meet that. I attended the 5-County Economic Development Council Expo and got some really good learnings on that. We had a session on rural economic development and was delighted to hear that the Association of Washington Business has picked up rural economic development as a priority for them. This session and hopefully going forward. Something new to me, I had always thought of AWB as being the Chamber of Commerce for the very large corporations, but 70% of their memberships have 50 employees or less, and they are understanding the uneven economic development in this community and want to make a piece of that. They determined that there were very large issues to deal with, but they put them into 3 buckets, and one of them we as a county welcome very much. They are going to engage themselves in a fix to the Hearst decision, which is very good news, and then regulatory relief, and then infrastructure development infrastructure that supports economic development. We also had a presentation by Mike Chapman, who is a representative from the 24th District in the House of Representatives. And I shared with the Commission, I want to share with the public something he said, and somebody referred earlier to the capital budget. The capital budget last year was held back in an effort to try to get a good response to and fix to the Hearst decision, and I won't go into what that's all about for people that don't know it. Mike Chapman said that he's fearful that if a capital budget doesn't pass in 2018, that there may not be any more capital budget because of growing concern about government debt. And if people may or may not know that the funding for the capital budget tends to be bond funded. And so I think that there's some things for us to keep an eye on because counties very much depend on capital budget appropriations. In fact, we have a request in for some sewer planning up in the Belfair area, and we consistently go to the capital budget for a lot of our infrastructure needs. And the other piece of information I thought that was very interesting was that all 5 counties reported issues with housing availability. We're all struggling to meet the housing needs in all economic sectors and price ranges, of course, mostly in affordable housing, but there's, I think, another piece of the rural economic development that we're missing out on. There's plenty of housing going on in the larger communities, but we're not seeing the developers come on down here. And I think that goes on back to what the AWB is talking about, regulatory relief. I think that's a huge piece of why it's so hard to get housing the way we need it. Thank you for bearing with me on that. And I have some more information I want to share. We have the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Organization. They are ready to be licensed as a behavioral health agency to provide behavioral health services. It's hired up 10 what's called designated mental health professionals to fill gaps of needing to have people that can make those assessments. And then found out, and we are trying to staff up, in April, there'll be a new law going into effect where there is the option for involuntary detoxification. Right now, we do have the option for involuntary mental health treatment, but there isn't that for folks that are suffering from substance abuse and had gone too far in many cases. And this is an issue that came up in the opioid forum where families say, what do I do? My son is high on something. I don't know what to do to help him right now. Where can I take him? There'll be the option legally to call a designated mental health and substance abuse professional to come and assess and take them involuntary to detox. The Behavioral Health Organization is trying to respond to that. The implementation, nobody really knows how that'll work because, of course, a lot of state laws don't come out with very clear direction. But by staffing up also on substance abuse specialists that can accompany a mental health professional, because you have to go out in twos to these crisis responses. And then we are looking, as you know, we're hoping to break ground soon and finish by October the triage mental health facility. We're going to try to convert 2 of those beds to a detox to respond. So there's some services there that we're very excited about having available, but the implementation is going to be very, very difficult and expensive. We had a special meeting of the Lewis Mason Thurston Area Agency on Aging, and then we had commission briefings, budget workshop, and then following today's meeting we'll have another budget workshop, and then I will attend the John L. Scott Christmas party. Commissioner Netherland is an agent at John L. Scott, so I just wanted to announce that because we may be there at the same time. And then I will be going to Sioux Falls, South Dakota to visit my ailing mother over the weekend.
Thank you. Last week, a couple of items that I just want to call out. One, our Secretary of State Kim Wyman was in town last week and had, I think, a very productive lunch with a group of people right here in Shelton talking about community issues, and we're fortunate to be close enough to Olympia where our state leaders can still make it out here and talk to us about the work they're doing, as well as hear directly from people that their work is affecting. And so I appreciate the Secretary of State making time to come to Shelton and talk about some of the work that their office is doing. I think it's easiest to associate the Secretary of State with elections, and that's a big part of what they do, but there's also work being done on the corporations and charities side of that office. There's also work being done on the state archives and state library side, and so it was interesting to hear some of that, but appreciate Kim Wyman being more interested in hearing about what we're working on. And so Kim is a former auditor from Thurston County, and so she is well aware of the issues that counties face, having had to make decisions at the county level. And so it was I think a very good opportunity for us to interact with her, and I appreciate her making the time. After that, I had a chance to sit down with Representative Dan Griffey and talk about his work on the local government committee and public safety committee in the House, talking about getting ready for the 2018 session. Of course, Commissioner Drexler has alluded to it, but the Hearst ruling will be front and center for a lot of folks in Olympia. There's a hearing this morning in the House on that very issue, and so he's going to continue to advocate for us. The capital budget is important. It's very important, in particular to counties like ours that request dollars. But so is our community's ability to continue to drill wells, and we need to have that growth in order to stabilize our tax base. And so I think there's still a lot of work to be done there. And I know that Representative Griffey is going to do a great job advocating for our needs here in the county as well. Also on Friday last week, had a chance to sit down with members of the Skokomish Watershed Action Team. They had their semi-annual meeting out at our Public Works building, and It's a great collaborative organization that brings together folks from the state, local, federal, and tribal level, as well as other interest groups, talking about issues out in the watershed and a lot of the projects, in particular, that the United States Forest Service is engaged in. So it was I think a good wrap up to a year worth of projects, and appreciated hearing those updates. Going forward, budget workshop after this, and then this afternoon I will be attending the drug court graduation over at District Court this afternoon, as well as the MACECOM board meeting. Also be attending the Port Hood Sport meeting this week. Have a couple items to talk to them about, particularly EDC issues that they brought to us. Trying to find a way to work more collaboratively amongst the different economic development entities in the county. And then as well as talking about the new opportunities for the elected port commissioners to potentially serve on the Mason Transit Authority Board. So a couple of important items to bring forward to them. Also have the Hood Canal Coordinating Council and Rotary. Then that brings us back to our briefings on Monday and meeting on Tuesday.
And I thank you for letting me go afterwards. I didn't have all the information down on the paper. First, I attended the meeting of the, what do they call them, Co-op High School, where they're trying to create a new high school. And I got to tell you, they're a great group of people, and I think they're going to pull it off. I think it's going to be wonderful for that region if they do, but I think they're going to pull it off. They've really got their head in the game on this one. I want to make a comment on Dan Griffey. Also had some conversations with Dan Griffey, and he's in the forefront of bringing in some new infrastructure to the Allen UGA, such as sidewalks and the like. And he's putting together a meeting for myself and him and DOT to go over some of those, the issues that we're having, because there's some problems that we have when it comes to how big the right-of-way is and the like. And maybe we all might get together as a county and see if we can help there as well, because we all know that that part is our breadbasket, that North Mesa area, and that's where any future economic development is going to come from, is going to be because of some of the work we do there. We had our budget workshops. I attended the EDC hiring committee meeting. I met with developers again up in North Mason. There's a whole new one that is looking for low-income housing out in there, low to moderate income housing, and they're on their first steps, and there's the properties available. The seller is willing, and so we have a lot going on there as well. I want to thank our staff. I went ahead and I was gone for a few days. I went to Washington, D.C., and I want to thank our staff for working with me over the weekend on the budget, even though I wasn't home, taking up your time in order to do that. On that trip, I just want to say it was a wonderful trip. A very special thank you to Derek Kilmer. I got a chance to sit at a desk. It took me in the evening, 8:30 at night. I got a chance to sit at a desk that was signed inside the desk when they retired out. They signed by Lyndon Johnson and how about John F. Kennedy? I don't care who you are. If you're not impressed by that, I don't know what to tell you. I walked out of there with the biggest smile. My kids actually made a comment to my wife that I've never seen him so excited before. But the stuff that I got a chance to see and touch, and I sat at the desk where they signed the Civil Rights Act, and that's, I don't care who you are. If that doesn't affect you, you're in the wrong country, I think. Let's see, we had more budget workshops. Mason Transit Authority had a policy meeting. Let's see, and coming up this next week, we have more budget. I have the drug court, the MRT, I'll be at that as well. PTSA meeting, we'll both be attending the John L. Scott event. I have a meeting of the ARC. We have our EDC retreat, the West Sound Alliance, getting back together again to talk about some of the monies for the road and infrastructure, not just to keep it. We're wanting to put together future asks for whatever may come up, as there appears there may be some excess in the gas tax, which usually doesn't happen that way. We have our EDC holiday event. Alex Hayes, will either of you be at the Alex Hayes Christmas? Okay. And then that brings us back for our briefings and regular work.
Great, very good, thank you. Okay, with that, we can move to item number 12, and I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Chair, I move that we adjourn.
Second.
We're adjourned. Have a good day, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for coming.